sent Prof, warned them. It's not only that this nation will go into captivity, your enemies will come and oppress you. This house that is called by my name will be raised down. They did not believe it. Finally, in the days of Eli the priest, Eli had become an old man. His eyes have gone dim. But his two sons, the priests, were messing up the whole place. They will sleep with married women that will come to the temple. This same kind of thing going on in many places today. The state of modern church. The state of modern church. These men of God were sleeping with married women. They didn't even know what the sanctity of marriage anymore. It didn't mean anything to them. Inside the temple, they were doing all sorts of things. They got into financial corruption, all sorts of things. And you know, when religion is corrupt, it's the worst thing that can happen to society. Because that's the last man standing. No matter what else that goes down, politics goes down, that's the last place from where God can begin to bring restoration. Whenever corruption reaches ministry and reaches the house of God, God has no option but to destroy everything. And so, even in the time, at that time, his children were misbehaving. God warned him about it. He didn't do anything about it. So God raised a little boy by the name of Samuel. He started appearing to him in visions. And he will give him some very powerful messages. And some of them are so heavy that Samuel couldn't deliver it. Because it involved destruction. Finally, Samuel summoned up courage to go and talk to Eli. He said, what I saw, what the Lord showed me. Your two sons, Hophni, Phinehas and Hophni, will be killed in one day. And they are priests. Even this house of God will be destroyed and will be captured by the Philistines. The same Philistines that God helped Israel defeat in the days of David, in the days of other godly kings. The same enemy now that God is now allowing to come and destroy God's people and the temple. When we get to junction like this, when judgment is flowing, desolation is flowing, let's not just rise up in pride. The first thing that God requires is humility and repentance. And then, of course, it wasn't long after Samuel gave the prophecy, the Philistines came, invaded, killed those two priests in one day, destroyed the house of God in Shiloh. They captured the Ark of Covenant, the whole Ark of Covenant that represents the presence of God. They captured it, took it to their country. You know, guess where they put it? In the house of their god, Dagon. But God showed them some things to let them know that he's still God. They woke up the next day, came to the house of their God. They found their God prostrate before the Ark of God. Their God bowed down flat on their face. And his neck cut off, his hands cut off. The idol has been destroyed by the Ark of God. When they saw that, then a plague broke out in their land. Their people started dying all over. And they went to inquire from their demonic priests. And they told them, you have done something terrible. You brought the Ark of God to this place. We're all going to die. You need to take sacrifices to appease it. And then send it back to the land of Israel. The Ark of God has stayed in captivity. Can you imagine that? So finally the Philistines responded. So now when the Ark returned, the Ark has no house anymore. And the Ark is now staying with one man. He was staying in the house of Obed-Edom. No, we are past that era, but the Ark was no house. So these are the things that now lady was staying in the house of Obed-Edom, and David heard about it. He decided to build the tabernacle of David. And from the tabernacle of David, his son Solomon finally built a temple. Now they have a new place to worship God, but this new place is no more in Shiloh. It's now in Zion, in Jerusalem, or the Temple Mount, built by David and his son. And the Jews, and the day it was dedicated, you need to see the prayer that Solomon prayed. The presence of God filled the place. God came down. After many years again, the people started going into idolatry. New kings have come up. A lot of things went wrong. They went into idol worship. The same things that destroyed the temple before, they started again. And God raised Jeremiah the prophet to tell them, another enemy, the last time it was the Philistine, another enemy is coming, and it's the Babylonians. And they're going to invade this land. They will destroy Jerusalem. They will destroy this temple. And the children of Israel say, it's not possible. This is the temple of God. How can the temple of God be destroyed? That is not possible. And God said, go warn them. Go to my house that was in Shiloh. See what I did to it because of the iniquities of your ancestors. If you think that this house cannot be destroyed, go and check what happened in history, so you can learn what can happen again. And that is the key to our study today. That no matter what we think that is coming in future, it has happened in the past. The key to prophecy is in the past. It's called history. There is a key called prophetic patterns. If you go to the history, the things recorded in the Bible, you see things that you are studying, that you are looking for in the future, that has happened in the past. If you learn from history, you can prevent making the mistake again. If those who fail to learn from history are doomed to repeat it all over again. The key to the future is not in the future, it's in the past. The past repeats itself. God made the universe in such a way that everything revolves in cycles. You know, today is Sunday. Ladies and gentlemen, do you remember that last Sunday I was here talking to you? We have completed a cycle, a weekly cycle, and we are back to Sunday. Do you know right now in Africa is rainy season? This is May. This is May, June, all of this period is rainy season. This is our planting season in Africa. Guess what? Last year, May, June, we have made this cycle. And it was raining again that last year. Last 2 years, it was raining again in this cycle. When we get to December, it will be cold season. We're going to have dry wind called Harmattan. And then in the Western nations, it will be winter. But you come, you go full cycle, you will meet it again. Everything in life moves in cycles. Now, that's why you